Now, we read in the verse 1 through to 6 that there was famine. Where Isaac moved to, the land had also experienced that same famine. Isaac had the tendency, or would definitely, most definitely, had moved to Egypt where there was abundance. But God instructed him to remain in Gerar, so that as Isaac begins to follow that which God has said to remain, Bible says in the verse 12 that Isaac planted crops in that land the same year and reaped 100-fold because the Lord blessed him. One would have thought that because we are in a famine season, because the place is not conducive for agricultural purposes, Isaac would have rested on his laurels. Isaac would have sung hymns in the sweet by and by. We shall meet on the beautiful shore. So he will be waiting for his blessed assurance. But we see that the mark of an excellent person is that even in the midst of scarcity and lack, that person begins to put himself to work. The person begins to put himself to work. Sometimes in our lives, the teachers have not been teaching us very well. At work they are not giving us all the necessary training that we need. But you can, as a we find ourselves, there are courses we can do online for free. Coursera, there are courses there. YouTube, people use it for things that are not worthy. But there are courses there, every subject. Your GCSEs, they are there. Go on maths. It is there online. They will explain everything. If you don't understand, pause, play until you understand. We have no excuse. Sometimes, because we are not pursuing excellence, we find ways and means to justify our mediocrity. God is not a God of mediocrity. He is a God of excellence. He is not a cheap God. He is not El Chibo. He is El Shaddai. He is a great God. He requires, in fact, for those of you who love to watch National Geographic and all those things, look at the animals, the elegance of the lions, the speed of the cheetah. Sometimes you see that the way it chases an animal, my goodness, in slow-mo, you will love it. But sometimes I feel pity for the animals that are being preyed upon. But you see that our God is a God of excellence. As believers, we are called to be excellent. Even when there is scarcity, even now that there are rules and regulations because of the pandemic, we can still excel in propagating the gospel. People are now at home most of the time, so you can use your social media networks in propagating the gospel. They can't afford not to see it when it is on their wall. They will have a look. They will pretend they are not having a look, but they will. So let us begin in this time of scarcity to pursue excellence. Let us move beyond the ordinary. So we see that Isaac planted crops in that land. You see, for the Bible to lay emphasis on the same year simply means that it was not naturally possible for him to sow and reap. Maybe I don't know. You have limited yourself so much that you think that, as for me, I cannot go beyond this level. There is a deaconess, I wouldn't want to mention her name. A few years ago, she started doing some courses at the college. Then all I realized she was in the university. When did her degree? So I was a bit inquisitive because I realized that her age, she's almost retired. And then she said she had always craved back home that she would pursue her education to the degree level. So for many years of traveling, many years of working here and there, that dream has been achieved. That is the pursuit of excellence. I don't know what are your life's vision, your life's targets, milestones that you have set. It is not too late. Begin to strive hard and begin to marshal plans. You see, when we look at the definition of excellence and the pursuit, we see that it involves planning, it involves activity. Isaac would know that in a place that there is famine, where there are no rains and the land is dry, I would need to look out for where I can get some water to water my crops. Isaac did not put the seed to the ground and went and sleep, waiting for God to do a miracle. He worked. Farming is work. Life is work. We must begin to work out. You see, when we say work out, what we are trying to say is that the thing is in you. It's just like somebody goes to the gym. I'm going to do workout. To work out what? Your muscles. The muscles are already there. It is not those machines that puts the muscles in your arm. The muscles are already there. So yours is to work it out. Exercise it for it to increase, stretch in size so that you will look so muscular. So for you to be able to excel, you need to involve yourself in an activity. Work out. Work out. 13, the man became rich and his wealth continued to grow until he became very wealthy. So you see that the Bible distinguishes between being rich and being wealthy. So being rich is a function of hard work, dedication, and commitment. Being wealthy is a combination of your hard work, dedication, continuous dedication, and the blessings of God upon our lives. Bible says that the blessings of God maketh rich, and it addeth no sorrow. The man became rich, and his wealth continued to grow until he became very wealthy. This morning, my prayer is that we would begin to pursue excellence, so that we will grow from one level of grace, from one level of experience, from one level of expertise, from one level of anointing to the other. The man continued to grow. In this church, we have something. You enlarge your coast and continue to enlarge your coast until you become great. Bible says that he had so many flocks and herds and servants that the Philistines envied him. A person of excellence stretches himself or herself to the limit to achieve the very best, such that even those who have decided not to take notice of you will still take notice of you. Why? Because the Lord your God has enlarged your coast. Because your hard work and your dedication and your faith in God has caused you to excel. So he had so many flocks. I pray that in our endeavor, we will begin to expand. If you're an entrepreneur, begin to expand. Now we are at home. What are some of the things that we can do? If hitherto they were coming to us, can I have a way of making sure that by obeying all the protocols, things are delivered to my customers? You see, you begin to innovate. You know, we have these robots here in MK. Wow, very good. They will deliver things for you. My neighbor once had a delivery, and I was in the kitchen. And I heard something, talking. So being inquisitive, I opened the door and went to check. Oh, it was lovely. I took my phone, just trying to, video the whole thing. Very interesting. This was developed in America, these robots. They are pioneering it here in MK. Who knows? You see, the people did not know that there was going to be a pandemic. But people of excellence always project into the future. You see, one of the things I have, or one of the problems I have with us, especially with me, I don't know where you come from, but where I come from, is the kind of things that we do, our films. They are never futuristic. It is about the things that even society frowns on. Unnecessary things. Oh, very unnecessary things. But look here. James Bond 007, flying cars. When did that man launch those movies? Years ago. Are we now not seeing those cars coming into play? In Milton Keynes here, last year or two, they were piloting these driverless cars. I was watching, if you go to YouTube, just type driverless cars in Milton Keynes. You see them. It was driving past the center MK. Now driverless bus. You see, people of excellence always see the future from yesterday. You see, all I want to say is that the future is not tomorrow. As a matter of fact, the future started yesterday. So even if you are thinking of the future today, you are late. So to think about it tomorrow, then you are extraordinarily lost. And that is the pain of most developing countries. But the word of God, when we received in its entirety, is able to help us pursue excellence. So let's move on to the next slide. So I said Isaac prospered and continued to prosper until he became extravagantly prosperous in times of famine and scarcity. You see, the world this season is looking out for people who have the skill set, who have the know-how and the mindset of excelling. I watched a short documentary, and a private company in America, the founder was being interviewed. And then he made a profound statement. He said, the pandemic has been very devastating, but to him, it has been a time of success. Because Manhattan and all those places, those huge buildings, rent there is expensive. So hiring 1 square meter, if they tell you the price, ridiculous. Now, in the pandemic, at the height of the pandemic, when all cities were shut, including where he was having his business, initially he said he thought that, how are we going to survive? How are we going to keep the business flowing? How are we going to pay? But once people started working from home, because it's a technology-based company, he realized that, oh wow, the people are being more productive. Excuses of the weather is not good, so I cannot come, was not there. You are in the comfort of your home, so you can't use the weather as an excuse. He realized that everything was increasing. So he said, okay, at the end of everything, he's going to terminate his contract. He will use his home as the headquarters and let the rest work from their home so that they will move. Because he made profits in the time when the world was in pandemic. Why? Because people saw the need that there are certain kind of job we can do it from home. So why do we have to worry ourselves? Let's do it from home. That's excellence. We must begin to pursue excellence because it is a mark of our maturity. Bible says that Isaac listened to God. He stayed in the land. He worked. He tilled the land. The land was, some of you have not seen anything yet. I happened to, in 1999, 2000, do my national service in the northern part of the country where I come from. Very dry. And when I travel from the capital of that region to the district where I was working, by the time I get to the office and I shake myself, the sand that will drop down is enough to build a 1-bedroom flat. I am dark in complexion, but then I would look like I have makeup from my hair to my toe. Very dry. And if the people are sowing millet, as you can see that sometimes the ground is so hard. Yet, with perseverance, dedication, and the strive for excellence, they have harvest at the end of the harvest period. Those who lazy about would always depend on freebies.